Now, remember that the Primate Ayodele gave a prophecy about Southeast governors. He gave a prophecy about Mai Malabuni, gave a prophecy about Aso Villa, and who else? There was one other person he gave a prophecy about in the country. And, the one that really hits me most is that of the Southeast governors. Remember that one of the governors in the Southeast, that is Governor Umahi, earlier lamented over his protection of the Fulani headsmen in his hometown or in his state. And he said at the end of the day that the Fulanis actually disappointed him because they began to kill his people. Well, I do not blame him. I blame the government that he is working with. Remember, he defected from the People's Democratic Party and joined them in the All Progressive Congress. So he's trying to go by their biddings and also work with whatever APC is working towards. So he said he tried to protect the Fulanese. He said, but what did he get? That they came and they killed most of his people. I believe we all remember that report of how Fulani headsmen killed a lot of people in that very state, Ebonyi state. And, another thing also happened, that the governor of Anambra State, the governor of Imo State, and the likes, they've been experiencing a lot of siege by bandits in recent times. Remember that even in Imo State, some bandits actually escaped. Some prisoners, inmates actually escaped from prison because there was a jailbreak, and they also attacked a police station and so many things. So recently, it's been a lot of challenges with both the government and the banditry in most of the southeastern states. And now there's been something, they have decided to come together to hold a meeting and agree on some things. What exactly do they have to talk about? What are they agreeing on? We'll find out in this very report, but please ensure you have hit the subscribe button if you have not, and also give this video a thumbs up. All right, my dear friends, without wasting more time, without further ado, let us dive right into the details of this report, as it says that the Southeast governors will meet in Owerri, the Imo State capital, to deliberate on security-related issues. And some of the people expected in that meeting are brigade commanders, Navy, Air Force commanders, Inspector General of Police, Ohaneze Ndigbo, and other stakeholders. The governors, according to sources, are meeting to find solution to the recent insecurity challenges facing the zone, particularly the recent jailbreak and attack on Imo Police Headquarters that led to release of over 600 suspects in police custody and 1,881 inmates at the Correctional Service Center, Owerri. Chief Press Secretary to Imo Governor Uguike Nwachukwu confirmed the meeting. He said the governors would brief the media after meeting. Well, I encourage the move for the Southeast governors to really meet, because the recent challenges is really alarming and confusing that the Southeast could become a place of serious unrest. Remember that it has been revealed that even this police headquarters that was actually attacked is really serious, that over 600 suspects that were in custody were released. And not just that, over 1,881 inmates at the correctional center were also freed, and they are nowhere to be found. Remember that some of their names and have been placed, and their faces where they can be found. In case they are found, someone should call the police or send a report to the police. But I doubt how many are really going to be seen, except some of them return back home or return back to the correctional center. But how many will do that? Because I could remember that of Edo State back then. How many of them really returned out of the hundreds of them that left the prison? How many actually returned? So it is difficult for them to really find the others, especially the numbers that actually left the correctional center. The numbers are so huge, over 1,800. That is a very huge number of inmates. So you can imagine the number of armed robbers that have been released. I hope they don't go back to armed robbery, because it's going to be a very terrible situation in some of the southeastern states. But I understand that most of those guys will not even be there anymore. They will move to other states, because if they stay there where they know them, they can be caught again. So most of them, I can assure you, would have left that state and have moved to other states where they are likely not going to be caught again. So really, there's trouble, and there's really big trouble coming for that region or other regions, because I cannot say they are still there. So they've gone to other states. So there's really trouble in Nigeria that is really coming, and it is only by God's intervention that we can really be safe, because now that a lot of these guys are now on the streets working, there are no jobs, especially the country where there are no jobs, where these guys are out, they can just go about looking for one or two little jobs to do. But I tell you, there is nothing to do. They'll go back to banditry, they'll go back to criminalism, they'll go back to doing all sort of things, because they believe that is the only way they can get their daily bread. Some of them do not even care if they go back to prison. Some of them have already made up their mind that Nigeria is not a country that would work again. So they are totally ready and are prepared for whatever comes after it. But the governors should really agree on something positive that would help that region, because the siege recently is alarming from these bandits and criminals. They shouldn't allow that place to become a den of criminals like the North is experiencing Boko Haram and banditry as it is now. So if it goes to the East, it is finished, because the one that happened in the West is Fulani headsmen killing and destroying people's farmland, maiming and raping women and all sorts. So it seemed like every part of the country is experiencing one thing or the other. And if things like this are not quickly done, what's the meeting they are holding, I pray it ends positively, because now in the southeast, a lot of they are from different parties. So I wonder how they are going to agree finally on something that would make sense. In Nigeria, governors, they are more in tune with their parties than thinking positive for their states. Because if they are thinking positive for their state, they shouldn't think about, oh, you are not in my party, why are you suggesting this? Because at the end of the day, you still get reports of how they fought before they came to a compromise and agreed on something. Because this will tell you, how do you mean that our administration is this and that? Because you have to make clear some of these things before you come to a solution. You have to know where the problem is. You have to identify where the problem is coming from before you can come to a conclusion on the next step to take. But I just hope that the Eastern governors actually come to a conclusion at the end of their meeting, and whatever they have agreed, I hope that they all agree for a better Eastern state, because the level of insecurity in that area now is really, really alarming. I hope they have a headway as they all agree. So my dear people, that is it from here. Thank you so much for listening. Whatever you have to say, please drop it in the comment section. Thank you for always being here. You have a pleasant time. Bye for now.